of the officers appointed over me,
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
according to the rules and regulations of war.
according to the rules and regulations of war. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
The Battle of Bull Run was the frontier battle in the American Civil War, with a total of almost 900 deaths in the first battle alone. Frontiers are about first, things or theories that have not yet been discovered, but after they are, history is forever changed. The Battle of Bull Run was a very significant frontier because it's the first time that America has ever gone to war with itself. Brothers fought brothers. The country was completely torn apart. The first battle proved how long and truly bloody the battle would be after that battle. The Union realized how truly painful the war would be after that battle. People who thought to build this country had family who would help break it. On April 12, 1861, the Confederates opened fire on Fort Sumter in American territory. Within 11 months of Lincoln's election, 11 states seceded: South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Tennessee. West Virginia was actually formed out of the parts of Virginia that did not want to secede, but still allowed slavery. Lincoln rallied 75,000 Union troops. The Bull Run battle was named by the Union based on the nearby creek. Without the proper training that they needed, the Union did not know how to follow higher commands. The Union had spent most of their practice marching, rather than actually retreating and practicing battle strategies. Civilians gathered around 5 miles away in Centerville to watch. People would picnic outside of the battles, even with their children and families. The people out in D.C. could hear the cannons firing. They said it was distant thunder. People did not have uniforms made for the soldiers because they thought it would be a swift 90 days. Even Lincoln thought that. They were wrong. The Confederates were a strong force that the Union had trouble stopping. It was a Sunday morning on July 21st, 1861. Judith Henry was at her home with her 14-year-old slave and her son. In the distance, they heard the firing of guns. The son and slave tried to evacuate and carry Henry out on a mattress. Over the period of time that she was gone, Confederate troops had gone and hid into her home. The group then turned back and went back inside the home. With no clue of the other people inside, the Union troops blew up the house. Judith Henry's gravestone still is on the battlefield today. Judith Henry was born in 1776, the year the country was formed, and she died on the day that the country almost broke. She was the first civilian to die in the American Civil War. Joseph E. Johnston's troop was the first troop to travel by railroad to Manassas. Manassas connected the Union government of D.C. and the Confederate capital of Richmond. The Confederates were the first to fire, and they stole the Union's cannons. The Union was outnumbered and outgunned. The Union was untrained and unskilled. Only the Confederacy had strategies and brilliant tactics. One out of the 5 bloodiest battles was Bull Run, with 150-plus total battles. Estimated casualties were 2,896 for the Union, and the Confederacy had 1,982. Irvin McDowell retreated. Union. Lincoln removed General McDowell after the Battle of Bull Run. Halfway through the battle, the Union celebrated their victory, but then Confederate soldiers had come up and more troops were coming up through the shadows. Once the Union saw that they were coming, most fled. Over 1,000 fled and went missing by the end. To rally his troop, General B of South Carolina said, "There stands Jackson like a stone wall. Rally behind the Virginians." The Confederates used that quote as a battle cry. Also, the bond between the North and South was completely destroyed. Economically, the Civil War cost over $100 billion in today's money. On top of completely destroying farmland, it was the North and South's food supply. Not only that, but most Southerners were farmers, so their farm and business was completely destroyed. The North had large bustling factories with plenty of opportunity, unlike the South with its completely destroyed farms. On top of all that, over 900 people died, and a couple of them were innocent civilians. A lot of cities were completely destroyed, especially cities in the South. This was Richmond, Virginia after the Civil War, the capital of the Confederacy. The soldiers who had survived the Civil War had built a statue, a dedication to the heroes who had fallen at Bull Run, but it was later changed to the Patriots, a throwback to the Patriots who had helped build the country. It was just a simple brick structure, but it stands on the battlefield today. The total amount of deaths in the American Civil War were almost as much as the total amount of deaths in every single American war combined. American deaths in the Civil War, 622,000, and American deaths in all other wars, 638,000. In conclusion, the Battle of Bull Run was a very significant battle in the American Civil War. It is a very important frontier battle in the entire war. Civilians who came to watch were traumatized, thinking it would be some sort of a show. All they found was bloody, destructive war. This is a very important topic because it not only explores the first battle of the very significant American Civil War, but it also shows the difference between the beginning of the first battles and the ends of the last battles.